What is going on out there? All right, I'm a little early, so let's just wait for a few people. Anyways, I'm a little early. Let's just wait a couple of minutes for people to come on. Hello out there. If you want to write something in the chat, you have to be a subscriber because people are asking me about that. If you're trying to put something in there, it isn't going to show. You have to be a subscriber. We're just a little early. We'll get going here in just a moment. You got any questions now, feel free to ask if you'd like. All right, just going to wait a couple of minutes. People are starting to come in. Hope everybody's doing well. If you're trying to put something in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Once you subscribe, I think it takes about a minute before it allows you to do it. So there will be some lag time. I was wondering how many people had a chance to look into that Coinbase. They're doing forex on Coinbase. I was wondering what people's opinions were on that. Oh, okay. The chat's saying you have to be a subscriber of 5 minutes or longer in order for them to start being able to put stuff in the chat area. So just give it a little time. There we go. Screw big tech. Love it. What's going on there, big guy? I'm trying to see if anybody ever had a chance to dig into that forex on Coinbase, which is pretty neat. I think I got to learn a little bit about it, but I started digging into it just a little bit. But the idea that Coinbase is going to be offering forex trading, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Hi, Victor. If they could do cryptocurrencies, like, it just makes sense. They could do forex. It's going to be new to some people, obviously, but I'm not done digging into it. I will. But they do have the Iraqi dinar on there at least. Screwball Victor, have you guys had a chance to look at the forex on Coinbase yet? How's the volume? Can you guys hear me? All right, so if you're trying to leave a comment in the chat room, you have to be a subscriber. There we go. Silver to blow up. I tell you what, they're talking about revaluing gold. And, the rumor, again, this is just a rumor. The rumor is they're talking around $15,000 per ounce for gold. If they reset the ratio, just think about this. If they reset the ratio, historically, it's a 15 to 1. If that's the case, that brings silver up to $1,000 an ounce. That's for a lot of us, that'll do. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, Screwball, but I got enough ounces of silver. If that's the case, yeah, I'll be sitting pretty for the rest of my life. That's for sure. Eric, how you doing? Appreciate you guys chiming in. For those of you who are trying to write into the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Once you subscribe, it says it takes about 5 minutes before it allows you to start chatting. It says silver should be around 8-9 kilos per ounce. Is that right? Okay, 1,000 per ounce at least. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's not like we're going to complain if it goes to $1,000 an ounce now, are we? Not me. As much as I think it should be worth more. And I said in a video earlier, in my opinion, I think eventually you're going to see silver pass gold as far as value is concerned, just because it has way more industrial uses and it's a lot more scarce. So it'd be interesting to see what the future has for both precious metals. We know the prices are being held down big time. I think that's Pritchard. I hope I'm saying it right. Hi, all. Sending much peace, love, and harmony from Arizona. How's it out there in Arizona? Pretty crazy with all the election stuff going on. Carrie Lake, is she doing well? What do you guys hear out there in Arizona? I'm just curious. What would I put gold around? Yeah, the video I saw was about, 12 years old, and they were saying gold back then was 15, just to cover the money that's in circulation. It's 15,000 per ounce. And since then, we know that they printed money way out of control since then. I can only imagine what it's going to be. But they're going to have to do something because the Federal Reserve is flat broke. They have nothing on their books. They are flat broke. So I don't know how they're going to cover all this outrageous debt unless you reset gold. That's just my opinion. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, I mean, gold at 25 to 30,000 an ounce. I mean, that doesn't sound that far fetched now. I remember back in the older days when I first heard about this, and I thought, well, man, that might be a little out of control, but not anymore. It doesn't seem that crazy at all. Brian writes, would you put on their Coinbase 2 or 3 months ago? They said that our government didn't allow people to buy dinar on Coinbase, just in other countries. Okay, so it's going to be the same as if you go to the bank for the most part. There's restrictions on it for now, but as soon as these restrictions are removed, I would imagine you'll be able to trade the IQD on Coinbase. If you want to do it now, all you got to do is buy a VPN and change your location, and you should be able to do that. That's the workaround. You can literally make silver cells at home and harvest. Yeah, something, Screw Big Tech. That's funny. I watched the guy do it more than once. I thought it was really interesting to watch what he was doing. He also did gold, and I didn't realize that you can actually grow and harvest precious metals from home. It's really crazy to watch the process. I'm north of over an hour from Vegas, so not much achievement. Oh, not much excitement here. Are they voting today? Is that today? I kind of, I'm big into politics, but I try not to talk about too much. But to be honest with you, I would love to see Carrie Lake get that seat just to see what she's able to do with Arizona after all the crap that's coming out. It's really crazy. Eric says, so what's your honest opinion? Did they mean $3.32 or 132 dinars? No, what it really means is 76 cents. So think about this, Eric. If you have the current dinar is 1,320 dinars for every dollar, and Al Sudini is saying that he wants to change it to 1.32, right? 1.32 dinars for every dollar. That's the same as if you flipped it around the other side. Right now we have 0.00076. Just remove the 3 zeros. So instead of 0.00076, we're talking about 76 cents per dinar. Where I'm concerned about is he says as clear as day in the paragraph, they want to change the currency. So that means they're deleting the zeros. So if that's the case, this is something that was brought up last night, and I want to bring it up to you guys. Let's say they, because it's a possibility, and the fact that I'm bringing it to you guys is only to bring awareness to it, not to get everybody in a tizzy fit. Let's say that they delete the zeros off the currency, okay? They delete the zeros off the currency, and then they're telling us that there's 76 cents per dinar. That's your value, okay? If that's the case, that doesn't mean you have to sell it right then and there. If everybody believes that the Iraqi dinar is going to be as valuable or more than the Kuwait dinar, who cares if they delete the zeros and give it a 76-cent exchange rate? If you believe it's going to be as valuable as the Kuwait dinar, swap your currency, swap your dinars, get the new ones, and just hold on to them. We see all of the economic growth that's about to happen over the next few years in Iraq. I have no doubt that the value of the Iraqi dinar is going to change. It's inevitable, especially if they're going to use Iraq as the gateway into the Middle East as far as trade is concerned. So just because it's a possibility doesn't mean that everybody's going to lose out. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, we're not going to get our money." Blah blah blah. I said, "Says who? Who says?" See, the problem is you got these content creators out there blowing smoke up people's ass. Why they're avoiding telling you about the different possibilities. So, could they just change the exchange rate and not delete the zeros? Of course they can. Could they delete the zeros and not change the exchange rate? Of course they can. There's a lot of possibilities, but you got to listen to the wording that they're using. People trying to make the claim that, Iraq must have a certain exchange rate in order to be on the World Trade Organization is just bullshit. All right. All you got to do is look at Vietnam. Their currency is way cheaper than Iraqi dinar, and they're part of the World Trade Organization. So that whole theory is shot. As a matter of fact, I started doing a little research and got interrupted. I'm going to go through and find out a list of all the different currencies that are cheaper than Iraq's currency that are members of the World Trade Organization and put them in order so you can see that that's just BS. All right, you guys, it's just BS. Where's Nader? Why has he been missing off of YouTube? I haven't paid attention to his videos in a while. Yeah, is that what it's called? Is it Sweet Tips? Is that what it is? Yeah, I watch that guy on YouTube, and I watch him grow precious metals, which is a trip to watch. So Nader's missing in action. Is that right? Oh, presidential preference vote. Okay. So 76 cents plus a real effective exchange rate, that would be the real effective exchange rate, whatever they change it to. So that's where Al-Saddam. So you guys heard the news. This is the one thing I don't like about Iraq. They drive me insane. They can't get anything going positive for the people without somebody's coming along and screwing it up. When Al-Saddam got in as the prime minister for the coordinating framework, they had a lot of plans for him to push their agenda. Apparently, he's not agreeing with their agenda. He's pushing his own. And because of this, they're not happy about it. People that's been around a long time know that Maliki at one time tried to be the next Saddam Hussein. He really wanted to take over Iraq and made a push for it. This is back when Dr. Shabibi was at the Central Bank of Iraq. As a matter of fact, he tried to blame all kinds of crap on Dr. Shabibi, claimed he was corrupt, which wasn't the truth at all. It was just an excuse to centralize all the power under Maliki, and it failed. So, but that doesn't mean he's not, trying to do that again. And I have to admit, when the Prime Minister Al-Kadhimi was being removed and Al-Sadini was coming in, I did not have, I wasn't very hopeful for Iraq, but I was way wrong. Al-Sadani seems to be doing a whole lot for the Iraqi people. So I'm really happy about that. I hope it continues, and he doesn't allow political influence to make his decisions for him. For those of you who are trying to leave something in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Once you subscribe, I think it takes 5 minutes before it allows you to start writing stuff inside the chat. So what was Matthew saying? How come your messages are retracted? What was your question? Yeah, you guys, look, here it is. Al Saduni said this in an article. We all seen it a million times. This thing has been beat up a billion times. Okay, you guys? He says in there he wants to make a change to the currency so that the value of the Iraqi dinar to the US dollar, that would be 1.32 dinars for every dollar. What that comes out to is 76 cents for each dinar. The problem is if they're going to do that, I won't say the problem is, but you could clearly see what he's doing is moving over 3 decimal places, which is the deletion of the zeros. A lop, a reduction, a removal, the deletion is all the same crap. It's funny. It's funny because when I listen to other content creators talk about it, they somehow, some way are treating a lop like it's something different than the deletion of the zeros. That's not the case. They're the same damn thing. Okay. So if he deletes the zeros, I know a lot of you are going to go, oh my God, this really sucks. No. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You're no different off with the new currency missing zeros than you are now. It'll be the same exchange rate. Well, it'll be an improved exchange rate, but you're not going to get all these riches off it. Not yet. Okay. If you are out there telling everybody, like I said, if you're out there saying, look, I believe the Iraqi dinar is going to be just as strong, if not stronger, than the Iraqi dinar or than the Kuwait dinar, then okay, fine, just hold it. You're in no different place than you are now. Whether they kept the zeros on or whether they take them off, it's the same thing. All you got to do is wait for it to grow in value. Am I wrong on that or am I right? It's the same thing. So I'm in the boat that believes that Iraq has a pretty good opportunity to be just as valuable as the Kuwait dinar. Since I believe that, even if they go and change the zeros and we have to redenominate and the exchange rate is now 76 cents, I don't care. I'm not getting rid of my dinars. I'm not going to go in and sell them. I'm just going to continue to hold on to them. And that's what I would encourage other people to do. Matthew, I'm not sure what you're asking because it keeps saying message retracted. So what are you asking? Eyes on the CBI. Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is they're just telling everybody exactly what they're going to do, which is very unique. So they don't need a budget because it is the same thing. No, they need a budget. But there's people out there telling you, I believe, what do they say all the time? They can't continue to do any of these major projects without changing the exchange rate. Isn't that what you're told? Even though for the past 20 years they've been doing projects, even though major projects they're in the midst of a lot of major projects right now. Some of them are getting started, some of them are halfway through, and some of them are about finished. So this crap about you can't do it with this current exchange rate. Look, I'll be honest. When I first started getting into the dinar, I thought the same thing. I was like, how are they going to do with this exchange rate? And it never dawned on me that it's already cooked in the numbers. It's already there. They've already planned with the current exchange rate how to fund a project. It doesn't change anything. The fact that the Central Bank of Iraq is one of the biggest projects they have out there, is supposed to be the tallest building in Iraq, is now almost complete. And that was a $17 billion project. How did they fund it with this exchange rate of 1,310? So they need a budget. They're going to do the budget at the current rate until something comes up and something changes. That's what you're going to see happen. Always cracks me up when an American says that based on our lack of budget, of course, they're not really getting it done here. Of course, they're aren't really getting it done here. Okay. Yeah, I do think it's funny. I hear other content creators, but I get what they're trying to do. I'm not naive. They're just trying to just string their listeners along, pump them full of all kinds of good news so that they don't give up. And so they get excited and you continue to tune into them because you get addicted to all the great news. But for me, I'm saying is just don't give just great news, give all news. Give them the fact that there's a possibility that they can delete the zeros and then change the exchange rate. And they won't do it. They think, oh, the deletion of the zeros is off the exchange rate. No. Sure, the nominal value does change, but the exchange rate against other world currencies does not change. Can you explain a real scenario? Importers buy products out of the country at $100 or 1,000, what is that, 132,000 dinars, and sells it for $200 or that many dinars if they take the zeros off the currency. So all you got to, okay, if that's the case, then see where your $100 or your 132,000, you just take the three zeros off your 132,000. It'd just be 132 for every 100. Remember, it's 1.32 for every dollar. So $100 would make it 132 dinars. See how you do that? I just was explaining to you. Does anybody not get that? Do you guys get what I'm saying? I would say probably about 96% of you got it. There's a small percentage that still doesn't get what I'm talking about. And I think where the confusion is, you have all these people out there making these ridiculous statements like, oh my God, the Iraq is going to save the financial world. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They have to have this outstanding exchange rate in order to be with the World Trade Organization. They have to have this crazy exchange rate in order to do the projects. And then they start confusing two different events. The redenomination of the Iraqi dinar is one event. Changing the value of the Iraqi dinar is something altogether different. The problem is they're conflating the two. They're combining them. And no. Rubber duck. So when is it going to crack all open? Do you think it's let me change my TV. I can't hardly see this. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got my TV on a swivel. So when I'm over on that side and I'm laying in bed, I can watch TV. When I'm over here on my desk area, I just swing it back around. And if I don't swing it all the way over, I can't really see what the questions are. So Rubber Duck, what do you say? So when is it going to all crack, all open? Do you think it's in my personal opinion? Again, some of you might have missed what I said. The deletion of the zeros, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's the end of the world if they redenominate. It isn't, okay? So if they drop the zeros off the currency, which is exactly what a redenomination is, so call it a deletion of the zero, the removal of the zeros, the reducing of the zeros, a lop. That's all the same thing, you guys. It's all the same thing. And I think it's funny that content creators act like they're two different things. They're not. They're going, we'll have a deletion of the zero, but we won't have a lop. What the hell are you talking about? It's the same damn thing. All of those are a redenomination. Okay, a redenomination. It's not the end of the world. But I know a lot of you are expecting that this rate is going to change and you're all going to become rich. I get it. It's still a possibility. I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is people should make sure you're aware that there's other possibilities of something else happening and they're avoiding it for some reason, or they just lie about it. So, like I said, here we go. Let's just say for the sake of it, they do the lop or the deletion of the zeros, all right? Your 25,000 dinar now becomes 25 dinar. Instead of your value being 0.00076, it is now 0.76 per dinar. It's now worth 76 cents per dinar. But you're saying to yourself, well, that doesn't help me because if they take my 25,000 dinar and turn it into 25, I'm not going to be a millionaire. No, you're not. But here's the thing. Like I said earlier, if you absolutely believe that Iraq's currency is going to be just as valuable or more valuable than the Kuwait dinar, all you have to do is just hold the currency. You're not going to be in any different spot than where you are now. Okay, so if they don't delete the zeros, where are you at? 1,320 dinars for every dollar. If they delete the zeros, where are you at? 1.32 dinars for every dollar. It's the same thing. You haven't lost anything, you haven't gained anything. But if they delete the zeros, your currency is going to look a lot smaller, or my 5 million now becomes 5,000. It doesn't have that same excitement that if you had a 5 million dinars and all of a sudden it's one for one, because then you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I got $5 million worth of dinar. I get that. That's what everybody's been told for the longest time. So if they delete the zeros and then eventually move the exchange rate up to where it's somewhere around where the Kuwait dinar is, which is what, 326? So just multiply your 5,000 times 326. It's not no millions, but it's definitely a lot better than what you paid for it. Look, I get it. A lot of people are going to be very disappointed because you were told that the exchange rate is going to change while you have the hyperinflated dollar. I get that. Look, it's not that I'm unsympathetic. I'm just telling you the truth. Okay? Pimpy, you are the best on the YouTube. Always enjoy your stuff. Thank you, Rubber Duck. I appreciate that. But not everybody likes what I'm saying. Look, I get it. Like I said, don't start liking the things that make your ears tickle or feel good just because it sounds good. You should just be listening to people who are willing to tell you the truth, good, bad, or ugly. So this way, then you're grounded. And if it happens one way, great. If it happens the other way, you're not in shock and you're not surprised because you were told it could possibly happen this way. Okay. Okay. So is there anybody not understanding what the deletion of the zeros does? Doesn't make any sense. If they change the currency and not the rate, well, that doesn't mean they're not going to. So here's what you got to keep in mind. A redenomination happens, but sometimes the exchange rate changes at the same time. I think it's only happened once. Most likely what's going to happen is they'll redenominate, wait till everybody's used to the new currency, and then change the exchange rate. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think first we get the redenominations, we get the new currencies. Soon as the last time it took Iraq 6 months to go from one currency to another. I know people are out there going, it's going to take 10 years. No, it took them 6 months last time to move from the Saddam Hussein notes to the currency we see now. 6 months. So my guess is it's going to take about 6 months again for people to get used to and understand the new currency. Once that's done, then you can see them start increasing the exchange rate. Okay, so like I said, just because they delete the zeros and we get new currencies, that doesn't mean you have to sell them right away. Just hold on to them. Even if they get as valuable as the Kuwait dinar, you don't have to turn them all in at one time. That option is up to you. I'm just saying you could hold out for more money. Part of me feels like there's still more to get done before the rate change, like oil and gas law. What's your take? So, yeah, there's some hurdles out there. Again, I tell everybody, my friend made the joke, y'all, look, it's the bad boy of the dinar community. I was like, what does that mean? He goes, dude, man, you're like the worst. Look, he's a dinar holder. And he said, dude, me and you been friends for a long time. When I hear your videos, you piss me off. I'm like, how am I pissing you off, man? I'm just telling you the truth. He goes, I know you're telling the truth and I know you mean good, but you know what? you kind of pee in everybody's Wheaties. I go, no, I don't. I'm not the one out there blowing fluff up your guys' ass. I'm the one telling you guys this is what's truly going on. So I'm the bad guy? No, I don't think so, man. But it is what it is. Kill the messenger. But for those people who understand what's going on, when the time comes, if indeed it happens the way I'm talking about, and they delete the zeros, and the value is nowhere where you thought it was, for people who've been listening to me, it's not like they'll be pissed, but it's not like they're going to be shocked. I mean, there's going to be people out there thinking about suicide, man. Trust me, that's not a joke. That's for reals. I've spoken to so many people that are into the dinars for many different reasons. I get it. They have medical bills. They have other bills that need to get paid. They want to change their life. I'm not saying that can't happen. We could wake up tomorrow and the zeros are still there. And then they say to us, hey, the new exchange rate is now 1-to-1. That's still a possibility. But I have not seen an exchange rate changed on an inflated currency. Nowhere when you do the research, you'll see that they have not changed the exchange rate on an inflated currency. Kuwait did not have inflated currency. Remember, all they did was get reinstated to their original rate. That's why I think it's funny when people compare Iraq to Kuwait. There's no comparisons because you never seen the Kuwait dinar go from a 25,000 Kuwait dinar down to a 25. They never had an inflated dollar. Iraq does. So it's something different. As much research as I've done, I have not seen any inflated currencies with the big exchange rate. They wait and then delete the zeros and then change the exchange rate. But like I said, just hold on to them. That's all you got to do. And just like I said, if you think it's going to be as valuable as the Kuwait dinar, just hold on to them. There's no reason for you to turn them in. I get the deletion of the zeros. That we'd have to change the money from the old currency to the new dollar currency. Yeah, Curtis, that's correct. I know people don't look. I can't begin to tell you how many people challenge me all the time. You're wrong. You're wrong. I said I could. Everything I say, I show you guys in writing. Do I not? I show you guys. I go, look, here's this article. This is what they say. None of them other content creators prove it. They just go, I got this, and they kind of flash a piece of paper, and I've got this study that comes directly from the Central Bank of Iraq. No, you don't. If you did, then show the people on the screen like I do. Everything I talk about is on the screen. Like the whole World Trade Organization, all you had to do is go to their website, and it tells you the status. Look, I read the article. I thought the same thing. I was like, dang, they completed a lot real quick. Congratulations to Iraq. They've obviously went through the whole process of the World Trade Organization. But then as I read it again, I saw some wordings in there that I saw while reviewing the different steps for any country to get into the World Trade Organization. And it dawned on me, they're nowhere near the finish. And I went back up there and then reread it and said, oh yeah, here we go. Here comes Pimpy bringing the bad news again. Geez, it's not bad news. It's just that, how about readjusted news? Does that count? It's the best way to put it. Will there be a time frame to cash it in? Are you talking about swapping out your old currency for the new one? I remember they had a time frame for the first time they did it, but it's plenty of time. If they put a time frame on anything, I guarantee you in a dinar community, everybody's going to know. They'll spread it out real quick. You'll know. I don't think you're wrong, Pimpy. I just need to understand how the importer can pay for imports out of the country if they're getting paid less than with 3 zeros less. Yeah, okay, so let me see if I can put it on the screen here, because this one's different than when I come in on the StreamYards. I don't know where the option is. Is this it? Can I share my screen? Oh, share screen. Okay, let me see if I can find it for you. I'll show you. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. You've seen me share this several times. Look, right now, this is what the 25,000 dinar looks like. Once they remove the zeros, it looks like this. The value on the exchange against other world currencies is the same. I know it sounds crazy. This will have equal value as the 25 dinar. Okay? If you take the 25,000 dinar, the exchange rate today is 0.00076, right? That's $19. Once you remove the zeros off your currency and off the nominal value, that 0.00076 now becomes 0.76. If you multiply that times 25 dinars, it's $19. See what I'm saying? So that hasn't changed. It's still the same. I know it sounds crazy because unless you could see, most people aren't understanding that. The nominal value within Iraq is going to change. It's going to go from a 25,000 dinar down to a 25, but the rate exchange against other currencies doesn't change. I just show you how it doesn't change. So when you take the zeros off the 25,000 dinar, multiply it times the new nominal value, which is 76 cents, when it becomes $25, it's the same value. Same value. One has all the zeros, the other one doesn't. So, however way you're paying for it now with your currency, you'll pay for it the same way with the currencies without the zero because it's going to have the same value as it did when it was 25. Does that make sense? Okay. The nominal value is the thing that's going to change, but it's also going to change on your exchange rate. It's not going to change against other currencies, but the nominal value, that bottom number there, when you see up there the IQD versus the US dollar, right now, what does it say? It says 0.00076, right? And that's what the zeros on there. So again, if you have 25,000 dinar times 0.00076, it comes out to $19. So if they delete the zeros, nothing's changed inside Iraq. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't change the exchange rate against the other world currencies, and I just showed you how that is. If they move that decimal point over 3 places, instead of there being 3 zeros in front of the 76, it's just going to be 0.76. That gives it the same value. So the value against other world currencies doesn't change. Not at the moment. That doesn't mean that it won't change later on, but at that moment, it isn't going to change. So even if you're buying supplies out of country or in country, all that adjustment is taken in consideration. You get that, Matthew? You see what I'm saying? All the calculations and adjustments are going to be made for you. Really isn't as fun as hoping, but thanks, keeping it real, Pimpy. You guys, I know I'm sorry, but the scary thing is, these people blow smoke everybody's ass up and they tell these great stories and stuff. My friend is like, dude, you'd be such a kick-ass person if you did that. I was like, I know, but I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I'd rather somebody just tell me the damn truth, let me know what I'm up against, and then I'll take it from there. But if you're going to keep telling me that it's going to be this and keep my hopes up and I get excited, then it doesn't happen that way, then I'm going to drive all the way over to your front door and knock on it and talk to you about that. You know what I mean? I had millions of dollars. No, I don't get, you know what I mean? I would smack the crap out of you. But yeah. Like I said, these are possibilities. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's going to happen one way or another. It could be that they don't delete the zeros and they change the exchange rate. It could be that they delete the zeros and they don't change the exchange rate. There's all possibilities. We are only speculating right now based on what the news is telling us. When you look at that last article by Al Sadani, what did he say? They want to change the currency. Currency is the dollar bills to the point where you can buy $1 US for 1.32 Iraqi dinars. That's exactly what it said. And I had people out there going, hey, the new exchange rate's going to be $1.32. These content creators, I was like, no, it's not. They're not reading it right. That's what happens when you rush through everything. You know what I mean? If Iraq is going to go cashless, why the hell would we have to switch out the dinar for the new dinar? It makes no sense. Thanks for them only in country. Oh, yeah. See, that's another thing that's a possibility. Thanks, Bruce, for bringing that up. Yeah, if they go cashless, where does that leave us? Do we get to swap our Iraqi dinar for some dollar amount that's in an electronic account? My guess is that they would open us up a bank account with the dinars in it, and they'll just go ahead and do the deletion of the zeros on their own, which is fine. Again, you guys, look, if they do this and they delete the zeros, whether it's electronically or whether they create new dollars, you don't have to sell them. Just hold on to them. If you believe they're going to be as valuable as the Kuwait dinar, just hold on to it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to sell it. But if my concern is that they do go digital, the only reason why I think they would force people into it right now is because they want people to turn in those Iraqi dinars. They have a liquidity issue with the Iraqi dinar. And how did that happen? When Iraq agreed to pay Iran in IQDs, and he paid a huge amount of it, thinking that Iran is going to be able to bring those currencies back in country on the exchange rate or in exchange auction windows, and they got shut down. So now all this money is stuck in Iran that belongs to Iraq. It's a bad situation. Money shouldn't be so hard. I do hope we eventually get 1 to 1. I can imagine it being better than 1 to 1, to be quite honest with you. I agree with a lot of people that the Iraqi dinar will be just as valuable eventually as the Kuwait dinar. So I would just sit on my dinar and just wait. You're not going to get millions, but at least you get tens of thousands, while depending, I guess, on how much you have. So if let's switch here. Ricardo Garcia, what do you say? So if one has 8 million dinars, then you will go around. So to go around 6,500, which is much less than most paid for them. So if you got 8 million dinars, just take off your 3 zeros and multiply times 76 cents at the moment. Is that what it comes out to? Is 6,500? 8,000? Yeah, it's about 6,080. So again, Ricardo, you don't have to sell it. Just hold on to it. If you swap and they do that, that doesn't mean you have to sell it right then and there. You don't at all. Okay. You just hold on to it and wait for that new currency to start growing in value, because it will eventually start going up in value. I don't think anybody in the dinar community disagrees with that. I mean, Iraq is looking towards a great future. There's a lot of economic growth easily coming their way, especially once the One Road project is done, or the One Road project. You're going to see a lot of business in there, and so I believe that it's going to go up in value. Even if they delete the zeros, it's going to go up in value. Are you going to make millions? I don't know. The only way you're going to make millions is if they don't delete the zeros and they change the exchange rate. But ask yourself, how realistic is that? They can't afford to make new currency. So even if they redenominate, they really can't afford it, because you have to make a lot of new bills, and that becomes very expensive. That's why probably going electronic is what they're going to do, and they'll just delete the zeros off that. But even if you're holding on to electronic Iraqi dinars, that doesn't mean it's not going to go up in value. It's going to go up in value as time goes on. We spent a nice weekend away. Would cost, yeah, a nice weekend away. For me, I mean, everybody knows I spend a lot of time in Vegas. So for me, it'd be like one hell of a night in Vegas. But I'm a pretty good gambler, so I'm sure I can flip that money pretty quick. Well, I won't say quick; it takes time, but I can increase the value 4, 5-fold. That, or just pay off bills. My house is almost paid off. I just put it all towards my house. Eric says, "What the thing is to me that when Sadani said the dinar would be stronger than the U.S. dollar, how is 132 dinars stronger?" Well, he didn't say that particular event was going to then make it stronger. That doesn't mean it won't be stronger later on down the line, Eric. You see what I'm saying? I get what he's saying. It's going to be stronger. But deleting the zeros is a whole other separate event than him changing the exchange rate. But you have content creators in there combining the two together. And it's like, it drives me insane because I have to go through and do this like I'm doing. All right. So in your head, that's a good way to go through this. All right, you guys, separate them. Don't keep putting it in your head that the deletion of the zeros has anything to do with the exchange rate. Okay. Nothing is going to change with the exchange rate. Nothing. It's going to be the same. Okay. Just get that out of your head. Can they change the exchange rate later on? Of course they can. And they're going to. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a much stronger than US dollar. Yeah. But it's not going to happen at the same time. That's the problem. These other content creators are telling you it is going to happen at the same time, and that Iraq is going to be the savior of the financial system. What the hell are you talking about? How is Iraq going to save the financial system? They're not. It's just going to be another country with a currency that increases in value or decreases, redenominates or doesn't redenominate. How they're supposed to be the savior of the whole financial system? No, that's ridiculous. Okay, so separate the events. Okay, I know people are telling you it's the same thing. This is going to be the exchange rate. That's bullshit. Just separate them. The deletion of the zeros, all that does is take your banknotes and removes 3 zeros off them. 25,000 dinar now becomes 25. The value doesn't change. And I showed you how the value doesn't change. It's the same. So nothing is going to. So even if they delete the zeros, like I said, you're in the same position now as you were when the zeros were on them. The same value of your currency is the same. Is anybody confused with that? See what I'm saying? I showed you how that works. The deletion of the zeros. 25,000 dinar times the current rate of 0.00076 is 19 US dollars. If they delete the zeros off the currency, a 25,000 dinar now becomes a 25 dinar. The 3 zeros come off that nominal rate in your exchange rate. So instead of it being 0.00076, it's now just going to be 0.76. So 25 times 0.76 is $19. So the value hasn't changed, just the look of your currency. Get where I'm coming from? The problem that everybody's having a hard time swallowing is they want the exchange rate to change while the zeros are still on the Iraqi dinar so they can get millions of dollars. We all want that. I'm not saying that's not possible, but the likelihood is stretching it, okay? I'm just being honest with you. It's not like I'm sitting around here going, geez, I don't want millions of dollars. I'll just take thousands, you know? No, I want the same thing as you guys do, but I'm not going to lie to you guys like other people will. I wouldn't like anybody lying to me. I'm not going to lie to you guys, all right? And whether you believe me or not, I know it's not as fun to think about having thousands of dollars as it does having millions. I would love to wake up tomorrow and find out that the exchange rate is now $3.22, and they did not redenominate. Woo! That would be a better night in Vegas for me, okay? Maybe they found a real genie in a bottle that will grant us wishes. Look, they haven't done anything yet. I'm just saying these are the possibilities. You guys understand that? These are the possibilities. I get Al Sadini said that the Iraqi dinar is going to be stronger than the US dollar. I believe that. But deleting the zeros off the currency is a whole separate thing than the value of the exchange rate against other world currencies. Okay? We see all the major projects. We see what the world has in store for Iraq. Once the port of Fars is open and that highway is built and they're open for business, whew, of course, to think about it is very exciting. Okay. Now, here's the part. Yes, that's me coming to piss in your Wheaties again. But listen, then I warn you guys that Iraq has a habit of taking 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. And what do we have right now? The coordinating framework, the whole corrupt group that's been in charge of the government now for 20 years. All they do is rotate positions. Same people stay there. What's going on now? They're attacking al-Sadani. They want him removed out of office. The one guy that's actually doing something for the Iraqi people, they want removed. Now, the only thing that al-Sadani has going for him, he should probably reach out to Sadr, because Sauder does not like the coordinated framework, and him winning that election, his whole purpose was to take them out of power. But instead, they were in gridlock thanks to the way the laws go. And, Sauder resigned. He shouldn't have gave up because look where we are now. So the best thing he could do is partner up with Sauder and, have them win the election again, because al-Sudani is becoming more and more popular. And that's what the coordinated framework don't like. Not only is he not pushing their agenda, but he's grown in popularity to the point where they almost can't do anything. They're smearing him in the news over there, you guys. They're smearing al-Sudani. You know what I mean? That's the same crap we got going here. Let's be honest. We got a deep state thing going on. They control most of our politicians, both Democratic and Republicans. They cover the news. They cover the radio. I mean, they control all these things. They control our intelligence agencies. That's the same crap that they got going on over there. Okay, so al-Sudani, you can look at him as probably a bad example, but I'll just say as another Trump. He's trying to bring a lot back to the nation. He's trying to make it Iraq first, make Iraq great again. You know what I mean? By doing what it is that the Iraqi people need, okay? Not what the coordinated framework wants. And they don't want that. And so they're doing everything they can to prevent him from going into, they're doing everything they can to prevent him from continuing as a prime minister. As a matter of fact, they're trying to remove him. So if you think about all the things that al-Sudani has done, if you think about it, a lot of great things. What do you think the coordinated framework is going to replace him with? Not somebody there who gives a crap about the Iraqi people. That's for sure. They want al-Sudani to push their agenda, and he's giving them the big middle finger. So that's another issue we got to keep an eye on, because we know that the coordinated framework is doing what? Threatening to destabilize the country, threatening protest. That's going to interfere with them economically because it's going to hold up stuff. This is the stuff that frustrates the hell out of other people. And it's not right. It's not right for the Iraqi people. You have different tribes. You have different political sectors. Okay. And you have different religions. You have to deal with all these different things that affect and influence what the people in Iraq think. It could be your religion. It could be your political opinion, or the political affiliation. It could be your tribe. So these things make it very hard for anybody to really govern over there in the Middle East. When Saddam Hussein was in charge, he did a good job of controlling the people. That's because he would just kill you if you didn't believe him. He would just kill you if you didn't agree with him. I'm not saying that's okay, because it's not. I'm just saying people always go, what did removing, Saddam Hussein do? Destabilize the Middle East. You notice how people never say destabilizes Iraq. They said destabilize the Middle East. Nobody around Iraq would dare step out of control or step out of line, because Saddam would just come over and smack your ass around. So once he was removed out of power, it destabilized the entire Middle East. Him and Gaddafi were removed because they were going to create a gold-backed dinar. And they were going to force people to purchase their oil using this gold-backed dinar. And, the United States, they can't have you getting away from their dollar, the reserve dollar. No way, man. That's a loss of major power. And that's why those two people were removed. Don't get me wrong. Saddam Hussein wasn't an angel, but Gaddafi wasn't anywhere as evil as our news portrayed him to be. Okay, Pimp, what AR? What do you mean by AR? What are the notes that will be affected by the cancellation? All of them. All of them will be redone. There'll be new notes. So, because people are going, well, what about the ones that don't have the zeros? How are they going to remove the zeros? What is the value? Well, obviously, it stays the same. All they're going to do is print new types of notes. So the ones that have a ton of zeros, they're just removed. But you're going to have a 5 dinar, a 10 dinar, a 25 dinar, 50 dinar, the lower denominations. Those right now obviously can't be used because they have no value. Actually, I think the real lower denominations are made into coins. So that's a lot different than actually bills. But given the cost of creating a new currency, most likely they're going to go, unfortunately, electronic. Love you, Pimp. Thank you for all your help. You are very welcome. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to sound like I'm always bringing bad news. Just, it's unfortunate that people see it that way. I just consider bringing you guys the honest truth. That's what it is. Look, for you people out there who are listening, if you're trying to put something in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Once you subscribe, it takes about 5 minutes before it allow you to put anything in the chat. Okay. Hi, Pimpy from San Francisco. Oh man, every time I think about poor San Francisco, it really breaks my heart. I used to love to go to San Francisco. I actually lived in Alameda for a while. I was always in San Francisco. It doesn't look anything like it used to. All the stores are closed everywhere. Everywhere the stores are closed. It used to be like a real hustle and bustle place. Nothing. It looks terrible over there. But not just there, Sacramento, San Jose, Los Angeles, all these major cities, you guys, businesses are closed. It's pathetic. And you have Gavin Newsom talking about becoming a president. No, no, that's almost as bad as having Nancy Pelosi become a president. So the dinar we have is no good. Is that what you're saying, Christopher? No, it's good. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed at all. They're just talking about it right now. If they delete the zeros, all you got to do is swap out your old currency for the new one. Nothing changes. Same value, just less zeros. So they have not announced that they're going to delete the zeros. They more than hinted about it on more than one occasion, but they have not officially made that announcement yet. Okay, guys? So don't panic. And even if they do, like I said, you're in the same spot as you are now. The value of your currency doesn't change. You just swap out old currency for the new one. A lot of them are going to have missing zeros, but it still carries the same value. And if you believe that it's going to be if you believe the dinar is going to be as valuable as the Kuwait dinar, then just hold on to the Iraqi dinar and wait for it to start changing in value. Somebody said, Pimpy, I believe it's going to be $15 to one. Okay, but if you believe that, then let them delete the zeros. Who cares? Hold on to your currency when it gets to 15 to 1 and then sell it. If that's what you believe, you know what I mean? Checking out what the hell is going on with crypto, man? They took a slap like you wouldn't believe. Just in 1 week, they're down, what is that, 14.5%? That's a huge loss once again. But not unexpected. If they're going to follow the Wyckoff chart, that's usual. They'll come down like that and then turn around and go up to new highs. Nick said, used to listen to a guy named Wang Dang. He always said that they would drop the zeros, making it 0.98 at the time, and would float up there. Nothing about redenomination always made sense to me. Well, if they delete the zeros, that's what that is. It's a redenomination. So whether you call it the deletion of the zeros, a lop, a removal, a reduction of the zeros, it's all the same thing. It's a redenomination. What we're having is people inside the dinar community, these content creators, are mixing the two things up, changing the exchange rate versus the removal of the zeros. Don't let them do that. Treat them as two different things. Even if they delete the zeros, it has the same value. So if I have 100 dinars, it sounds like you said, I have 100 dinars, not is going to be $1. Yeah, so if they delete the zeros, the 100 dinar is going to be 100 dinar. They're not going to delete the zeros off that. That bill obviously doesn't have 3 zeros. You're going to have, my guess is that would be the highest denomination they will allow in Iraq. Is going to be the 100 dinar like we have here. Then underneath it, I'm just assuming it's going to be like the US money. So you're going to have the 100, the 50, the 25. No, it's going to be the 25. We got 25 notes. So it's going to be the 100, the 50, the 20s, the 10s, the 5s, and the 1s. That's most likely what you'll have. I have 700,000 dong. Is this good or enough? Depends on what your goals are. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about the dinars, not the Vietnam dong. And people were asking me, is it a lost cause, the Vietnam dong? I said, well, let me tell you something. I never seen a country start rounding up corrupt politicians as quick as Vietnam has been. And they are the ones that are holding back increasing the value of the exchange rate. Does that mean they'll increase it? I don't know. But the one thing I know for sure that is keeping them back is the corrupt politicians. So we'll see. Anyways, you guys, that's an hour long. And look, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I promise we'll start doing this. I know I said this like a million times, but I promise you I'll start doing it a lot more often. At the very least once a week, but I'll try for two. Somebody said, can you do one in the morning and one in the evening? It just depends. I'm constantly busy doing stuff. Actually, I'm constantly reading and studying for you guys. And that's honest to God truth. You know what I mean? So, look, again, none of this is possible without you guys. I've said this a million times. And I'm sorry that I don't say all the things that everybody likes, but I'd rather be honest with you so that you're not cut off guard, all right? That you guys are at least understanding what the possibilities are. But like I said, even if they delete the zeros, no, you're not going to get millions of dollars, but you don't have to sell your currency right away. Just wait for it to increase in value because I have no doubt that's going to happen, all right? Anyways, you guys, look, I'm going to go. I appreciate you guys chiming in. I'll catch you later. I'm out.